There are times when I've wanted to take a break from my business, and I am so sure you felt the same. Whether it's because of having a surgery or a health issue or taking care of family members, or maybe you're having a baby, going on maternity leave, going through personal issues like a divorce or depression, or even just wanting to reevaluate the direction that your life is going in, and just plainly tired of your business can all make you want to take a break from your business. But will your business show up for you if you're unable to show up for it? Can your business still run itself profitably at the levels you need it to with the correct systems and processes in place so that you can really do less and take that needed break? I am Shanice Miller, and welcome to my podcast, Do Less. Yes, that's right, do less. It used to be cool to work 60 hours a week, but the world has gotten smarter and realized why spend more time to make the same or less money. I help small business owners build systems and processes to help them scale and find more time for themselves and their families. I'm going to provide you the best practices and all the tools and tips to scale your business. Welcome to my show. Today, I'm bringing Maya on the show. Maya is a personal branding strategist and the CEO of Built to Impact, a coaching and consulting company that helps faith based female entrepreneurs build a high end coaching business. Through her 6-month accelerator program and her signature live event, Impact Weekend, she's helped hundreds of clients get clear on their message, confidently increase their prices, and have successful 5-figure launches. Maya, I am completely excited to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So I heard recently that you went on this soft life break. I've been hearing that soft life thing all around. I don't really know quite what that means or what it is. So what is that? Tell me.
Oh man, for me, soft life was just doing whatever felt peaceful, not overworking, not feeling burnt out, not feeling stress.
Oh, like my whole life.
So
I'm like, yeah. So I guess like putting a title on it, I was just like, I don't know what this is.
yeah, soft life, just living really soft. I think, like you said, everybody has a different definition. So soft or maybe like more feminine, not, overworking yourself or trying to prove yourself and all of that. So yeah.
Okay. So I'm hearing all of the soft. What sparked it in particular? Because it seemed like there was a period that you decided to do this for. What sparked that?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people enter the soft life when they reach a point of burnout. And that's kind of where I was.
Mhm.
And I don't think I was burnt out from overworking because I'm not really an overworker. But I think I was just burnt out like emotionally in my business. I feel like there was just a lot of things that were going on at one time. I had grown my business a lot in a really short time. And so there was just a lot of clients to work with, trying to figure out things with my team, trying to really understand leadership, trying to really understand what it meant to look like as I scaled this company. And I was like, this was just a lot. And so there were some things that happened like within scaling that I'm like, this is just taking a toll on me mentally and emotionally. So I just need to take a break from this.
How did that feel? You're saying it's taking a toll from you, but like what exactly was that coming out as?
Um, It was really, I think there was like a lot of disappointment because I'm like, oh, I
Mm.
didn't expect to get to this point in business. Like, so transparently speaking, like before I had gotten to that point, I think probably the most amount of clients at one time I had worked with was maybe about 30 to 40 clients at one time. And up to that
Mm.
point, I'm like, I've always had such a great and beautiful relationship with my clients because I really value that. I really value community and a level of intimacy and working with my clients. And when I had scaled, we probably had about, I would say maybe like 80 to 120 clients at one time. And so I'm
Wow.
working with so many different clients. I have coaches on my team who are assisting me with helping me with these clients. And there was, I see a lot of my peers go through this, and now I can recognize it in CEOs that are trying to scale. But there's this period where you're growing really quickly and you're wanting to have a lot of attention to detail in the work you're doing with your clients, but also trying to figure out how do you operate as a CEO and how do you operate as a leader. And when it's your first time really going through that, some things are going to kind of like slip through the cracks. So I had clients that were feeling like they were neglected, or I didn't clearly
Mm.
communicate what the expectations were, like being inside my program, if I wasn't going to be the main coach or whatever it was. And so because they were feeling like that, a lot of people were like, oh, well, this isn't what you said, or you're not operating in integrity, or, I don't want to be in this program anymore. And so it was just a lot to deal with
That's
at
tough.
one time. Yeah, it was definitely a really tough situation, especially because I really pride myself on operating in integrity. And I didn't feel like I was out of integrity. I felt like I'm a CEO who's growing and I'm giving the absolute best I can in this moment. And I am giving you everything that was communicated and promised. But from a client's point of view who might feel like they need more hand holding or whatever it is that they needed, I guess they felt a level of negligence. And so going through that period, I'm like, it felt I think the word for me was almost felt like a little bit of betrayal. And it's not that I feel like anybody owed me anything, but again, because I pride myself on having such a beautiful and healthy relationship with my clients, for people to, like, I felt like my character was attacked without anybody just having a
Mm.
conversation and saying like, "Hey, here's what I was expecting. Can you share a little bit more insight, or can we come to some type of agreement?" But it really kind of just felt like an attack. And so when you have 20 people attacking you while you're trying to figure out this level of growth, it just doesn't feel good. So I'm like, the money was great, whatever, but I don't do this for the money. So for me, I'm like, I'm going to just take a step back here because I don't need to keep going for the money. Like, I'm good on money. So I'm just going to chill out and people can figure out how to launch on their own. It's fine. It's whatever. So that's really like the place that I was in.
Wow. I thank you so much for sharing that because I went through something similar, like doing that 3, 4x growth really quickly. And then that feeling attacked. I didn't realize, like, because you're like, you felt betrayed. And I was wondering, I was like, that's such an interesting word to really use is betrayed.
Yeah.
But you do kind of feel like I'm putting my heart and soul into this. And then when you get those couple of negative comments or someone who's really like saying, oh, this isn't working for me after you are still trying to do the best that you can, it feels really discouraging and kind of puts you in that really low down type of place.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was really low for such a long time.
How
And I
long?
also kind of have, I mean, very long, definitely months. And I think I probably took like 6 to 9 months off of working. Like, I was still working, but I wasn't putting in 100% effort into my marketing because I did not want to repeat attracting the same clients. So
Mm.
I think I think there was like a couple things at play. It was like, I was feeling like these negative emotions, so to speak. I was feeling disappointment and sadness and feeling hurt. But I am the type of person that I don't like feeling negative emotions, or I define them as negative when they're not really negative. They just are what they are. And so it's harder to go through your emotions when you won't accurately identify them and give them the space that they need to breathe. So I probably actually could have gotten over it or gotten through it much sooner, but it was like I was stifling my emotions and all of that. So when I was in therapy, it was like, well, we need to identify like what you're actually feeling here. So I didn't really understand that I felt a level of betrayal until I talked through it. I didn't understand that that's what I was feeling. So I think it definitely took a while. I would say it took a little over a year to really like feel excited about promoting my programs and getting people back in my programs again. And then when I did get people in, like, as I was getting really great clients, it was like I was nervous to like really connect with them because I'm like, girl, I don't know. Like, it's, you'll have clients that'll be like, oh my God, I love you. And they're singing your praises. And then the next day they're stabbing you in the back or doing a chargeback. And it's like, your guard is definitely going to be up. So it was like I was getting
Mm.
amazing clients, but I'm like, I have to love you from afar. So
I think that's so real though, because that feeling of, you're working with someone and then when they do that charge back, you're like, I'm completely blindsided. Why did you do this charge back? It is hurtful, like we talked about, especially when you feel like you're doing your best to try to help this person. And then it's like, oh, I'm getting these negative reviews, or, you are charging back your services when I provided you the services that we spelled out in that contract. Yeah, that's really tough. So where was it like a planned break, or was it just kind of like an abrupt type of, well, before I ask you that, how long did it take you to, because you said you said that you had expanded quickly. How long was that time frame that you pretty much like 3x your clients?
Yeah. So when I think about like year over year with numbers, 2019 we did 330,000, 2020 we did a million, and then 2021 we did 2.1 million, which is when we grew really rapidly. So we had doubled our
Okay.
numbers from a million to 2.1. So yeah, it was within a 12-month time span.
Okay. So 12 months, you're growing really quickly. You are cool at, I feel like that 300,000 is kind of like that sweet spot because you're just like, oh, okay, I can have me and like this, a couple of people, and it can just flow easily. You can maintain the clients that you have, and it's not stressful. It's really that nice, peaceful plateau. You're having that great profit area too. And then it's like, as you're starting to scale into the millions, that's when it's like, oh, I need more support staff. I need more people that are coming on to really service all of these clients that I'm getting in.
Yeah. And even at 1 million, it was still really good. It was like me and an assistant. And at 2 million, the profit was really good there. We probably did about 50% profit. But I started to bring on more people thinking like, okay, well, if I want to scale, here's what it needs to look like. I don't need to be doing everything by myself. And then
Mhm.
in 2022 we did a million, so it's like I'm bringing on people anticipating going from 2 to 3.5 or to 4, so I'm hiring as if I'm already making that, and then we end
Mm.
up going back to 1 because it's like, girl, you didn't do anything all year. How the hell are you going to get to $3 million and you're not working for 9 months? So
Your team was supposed to work. That's why I hired them because that was like
yeah,
definitely my thought.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, which is, and it's a logical thought, but it's a little bit of a naive thought because it's like, well, girl, what are they working on? Because if you don't want to
Yes.
run coaching programs, you run a coaching company, what would your team be doing? So
Yeah.
I think 2022 was the first year where I didn't experience a lot of profit. Previously, really profitable, doing really well. Then when you don't work, you don't make money.
Yeah. So, were you planning to have this soft life break, or was it kind of abrupt because you felt that emotion and that betrayal?
It was definitely abrupt. Like, there was nothing in me that was like, "Yes, I need to, take a break." Like, I naturally take vacations and stuff like that, but I
Hmm.
didn't think I was going to kind of like shut down for months. Like, I was very excited about my business. I had run my coaching programs previously, really enjoyed it. Felt like I had such a great relationship with my clients. And I had this vision of like, oh, I want to scale to this many clients, and here are the things I want to do for them. And here's all the things I want to do with my company. So there was nothing in my mind that was like, oh yeah, we're gonna take this soft life break. I don't think that I even said to myself, like, yeah, I'm in my soft girl era. It was after the fact that I recognized, like, oh, you had a soft girl life. And then like a couple months ago at the beginning of the year, I was on my girlfriend Donnie's podcast, and I was like, this soft life era, it's canceled because I need to be back into millions and I need to be profitable. So it was cute and it was necessary while it lasted, but it's canceled.
So, what was the profit while you were doing this soft life era that, to kind of call it that way in the nicest sense?
Yeah, I
Because
was
you
not
still made a
operating off.
million, and a lot of people are trying to get to a million. But I always say, like,
Yeah,
it's about the profit, not necessarily like what you're bringing in.
yeah, exactly. I wasn't operating off of profit. I was operating off of my reserves. Like, I had an extra $1 million just in my bank account. And so I wasn't thinking in my mind, like, oh, are we generating profit? I was like, oh, so long I'm making enough to be able to pay my team.
Mm,
And then when I look, it's like, okay, but a lot of the money that you're spending to operate your business is coming out of reserves. It's not coming out of profit. So it's like
wow.
I I spent the same amount of money that I made the year before, but I made 50% less. So it was literally like
Mm,
at break even.
wow. How did that feel
Yeah.
to come back and then to see, like, okay, I'm at this break even slash less
Yeah.
position?
I don't know. There was a part of me that was like, "Oh, I could have done more." And there was another part that was like, "Who cares? Whatever." Like, my mindset around money is that it'll always be available to me. So I'm like, "Okay, I can just make more money next year," or like, my what we call our broke lever, like my broke lever is never zero. Like my broke lever is maybe like $400,000. Like, okay, if we go beneath 400,000, like we're really in trouble. So for me, it was just kind of like, whatever money is still there, you're gonna have to just do better next year. But I really try not to stress myself out over money too much.
What's this bro clever? I was like, I was trying to catch what you were talking about with that, but I'm like, I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, my bad. My broke lever, like
Oh, your broke
my
lever.
yeah, yeah. So you know when people they say they're broke when they're at zero, I'm like, no,
Okay.
we're not. Broke got to be a little bit higher than that, babe. So broke for somebody might be, oh, I only have $1,000 to my name or 10,000 to my name. For my company, I'm like, if we hit below, $300,000 in reserves, then we in trouble. Like I like to have as much cash as possible.
And then did that broke lever like when it started kicking in, you're just like, oh, it's time for me to get out and get back into coaching again.
I was like, girl, it's been really cute for these last 9 months, but you have to figure something out if you want to have all these people on your team. So I did have to think about like, okay, do I need all these people on my team? If I do want these people on my team, what are we doing to make sure that, they're all getting paid? That's something I take a lot of pride in, making sure I pay people well and pay people on time. So I made sure that was never affected. But it's like, if you want to keep paying people and paying them well, you're going to have to now start concerning yourself with being way more profitable.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What were you doing during this time that you got to take off from the business?
Honestly, I was just kind of relaxing. What did I even do in 2021 and 2022? I just chilled. I really love my home, so I enjoyed just sitting around and hanging out. Like I still, we had team meetings and stuff like that, but I was prioritizing serving the clients that we already had. So it was like I was still running the business because we had clients where we had the responsibility of fulfillment. So we were making sure they were good. I was planning my live event because that's something that always have on the calendar a year out. So I was just
I was just gonna
handling the
ask
duty.
you, were you still doing Impact Weekend? But you did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I love Impact Weekend, and it was so great, thank God. So it's like anything that we were already responsible for, that's what I was working on. The issue or the gap of this soft life was I was not prioritizing new business. I was just, leveraging and relying on the existing business that we already had.
And I hear that same thing. Like so many people say, I'm so focused on or trying to balance this way between bringing in new business, servicing my original clients, and it sometimes it gets to be too much or too overwhelming trying to really do it all. So if you had to go on another hiatus from your business, what would you do differently?
Um I probably wouldn't, but if I did, would find somebody who was really, really good at sales, because that's always been, my number one thing in my business. I did whatever work I needed to do to generate that 1 million or 2 million or whatever. So I would need to find somebody that could master sales, really speak in my voice, build trust with our leads and our prospects, because I feel really solid with my team in terms of delivery and fulfillment. Like our clients are very well taken care of with my team. If I never showed up to a coaching call, my clients would still be taken care of because of the coaches on my team. They're so well versed into launching and messaging and being able to serve our clients. It's really just we would need somebody to make sure we're consistently getting a flow of clients.
Okay. And
Yeah.
getting somebody in to, I guess, kind of training that sales team, that salesperson to take over those particular duties for you. You said you wouldn't do it again. Why not? You wouldn't take another
Uh,
hiatus. All right, say it
I
doesn't have
wouldn't
to
take
be a year. What if it's like just
it.
like maybe 6 months or 3 months?
If I took another hiatus, I would probably prioritize maybe just selling like digital products. I don't think I would take a 6 month hiatus with such a high level program.
Okay. And why is
Yeah.
that?
Because I feel like there's just a little bit more attention to detail. Like I'm always going to be thinking in the back of my mind, like, okay, is everybody taken care of? Is everybody good? So it would be a hiatus physically not being there, but mentally in the back of my mind, I'd be wondering, like, is everything, going well? Is everything going okay?
Mm. So you wouldn't really be able to kind of like turn off because you're still like not comfortable with, all right, how are the clients really doing in this process?
Exactly. Yeah. So I would have to really just think through what that process looks like. I think if I did do a hiatus and I was still running coaching programs, I would just make it very clear, like, this is a coaching program where you're going to be working with coaches. You're not working with Maya. So that way I don't feel any type of awkwardness or
Mm.
guilt when I'm posting, hanging out on a yacht, but y'all are on these coaching calls with my team. So as long as it's clearly communicated and we're level setting expectations that you're working with the built to impact team and not Maya, then I could feel a little bit more comfortable.
Okay. Well, it seems like you're in a good spot. Where do you see your business going ideally?
Yeah. I think I'm still kind of like playing it day by day. Like we have a cohort of clients now. We have about 40 clients in our program and they're amazing. I love them. I like before Impact Weekend, I was fast and pray about what the event is going to be like. And the main thing that I was fasting and praying for was like, God, let only the right people be in the room. I do not care about quantity. I care about just the right people being in the room. And so I would say that was our best impact weekend, not even in terms of numbers, but just the quality of women in the room and then the quality of women who join the program. So we're working with these women right now, and it's really, really fun and exciting. And one thing that I really deeply enjoy doing is teaching. I love coaching, but I just really love teaching because I like structure and systems and teaching things in a really organized way. So I'll probably maybe just start to implement more live teaching, more in person events where I can just teach marketing and messaging concepts.
I think that would be wonderful. I can really see that for you. Like you're like, I'm going to do these like 4 quarterly launches for this in-person event and make it that high ticket event. And you're like, I'm
Yeah,
done. I do the event for the weekend, and then after that, I have enough time to prep and everything until the next live event for the next weekend. So I that's going
for
to be
sure.
amazing. I can't wait to see that come to fruition. And um,
Thank you.
are you going to ever go back and do a soft girl era?
I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. I am like at a stage where, I mean, obviously, I love my business, I love my clients, and I love the work that I do, but I don't necessarily want to work. So the
Mm.
soft girl era is just going to become my life. It's like, oh, Maya retired at 38 and she was never to be found again. So that
Yeah, I think you'll
is.
still like to work with the coaching clients and, kind of popping your head in and doing a couple of the things. You're like, no, no, if you can't see your face.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think folks have about 3 to 5 more years of coaching out of me, and then I think that's going to be it. Like I really enjoy
Hmm.
it, but I if y'all see me coaching, it'll be more so in like a teaching capacity. I don't think I'll be running these programs. We might still have coaching programs; they just won't involve me.
So then what life do you see yourself after retirement?
I've really been prioritizing figuring out like where I want to place my profits in terms of investments. So
Mm.
Uh, probably real estate and stock, and maybe a little bit of day trading if I actually take the time to learn it. So I just want to live off of the interest of my assets because I don't want to work. I want
Same
to just
here.
relax.
That is definitely like that goal and where exactly like I started stacking and putting things into because yes, a business is great. It's also active income. And,
Yeah,
even hiring employees, it's still that overseer, even having that operations
yeah,
manager in there. There's still some sort of overseeing that has to go into. So there is that shift where it's like, okay, when I'm really thinking about retirement or where I see myself over the next 3, 5, 10 years, do I see myself having to show up or can I have something that is giving me dividends like certain dividend stocks that I invest in and like you said real estate as well, having someone that you can really put in there and it's like okay, this is really more passive than what
right.
it feels like even with employees that a business is passive. So
Yes, exactly.
Maya, I have absolutely loved this. Thank you so much for being open. If someone wants to know more about you, what you do, how can they find you?
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about me and you're not afraid to work with me, you can find me at Maya Elious on Instagram, Mayaelious, and the name of my company is Built to Impact. You can find us on there. We're always giving out tips and strategies to growing your business. So we'd love to have you connect with us.
Why would somebody be afraid to work with you and your beautiful smile?
They're like, well, she's about to be leaving in 3 to 5 years. Is she going to be around? Yes, I
That
will be
that
there.
means
I
get
will
in
be.
now. You have to get in now
Yes,
and not
get
wait or
in.
procrastinate until later.
Yes, get in now because I love what I do though. So yeah, get in. These last 3 to 5 years is where I'll be the most enthusiastic to be able to show up, give my absolute best. I'm really on a mission to help as many women of faith as possible leverage their expertise to build a six-figure business. So if that is what you want to do, I highly recommend checking out our live events and our programs.
Well, thanks so much for coming on. This has been an amazing episode of Do Less with me, Shanice Miller. Share this episode with anyone who needs this today. Leave a 5-star rating and review. And remember, if you're an entrepreneur and you need to do less in your business, click the link in the description to work with me.